Hi, welcome, Anne-Sophie. Namaste, really happy to meet you today. You're coming this fall in Hridaya, Longeval to give this yoga therapy immersion, module 2 and 3. So I would really like to know more about it. So maybe first you could explain a bit who is giving this course? So you and Anneke?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Estelle. Well, if you haven't met me, my name is Anne-Sophie. Sounds French, but I'm German in fact. But the French know how to pronounce it, which is very good. Yes, and my background, basically, I studied medicine. I'm a medical doctor. I have my own practice here in Germany, in the south of Germany. And before I even started with those studies, I just had such a longing and interest for yoga. So while I was in university, I was constantly traveling back and forth between my university town and some places in India and Thailand, where I was really diving into traditional yoga, to hatha yoga, learning about meditation, attempting to meditate, which is an ongoing journey. And in that, I saw the amazing transformative and healing powers that yoga and traditional yoga holds. And so I just got so passionate about finding my way to bring whatever I value from the medical and scientific field together with all that wisdom and exploration, self-exploration, evolution, which I see and I find myself in the yoga tradition. And then I started searching, I started soul searching, going through some crises here and there about, where is my place? How can I bring this all together? And in that, I found yoga therapy, which is not a traditional aspect of yoga. It's actually a very modern, somewhat scientifically based aspect of yoga. And I fell in love with it. And this is my passion, and this is the niche I found, which I hope is not going to stay a niche much longer, but it's actually going to be an integral part of our health system and the way that we as therapists, as human beings, right, as we see health, as we see disease, and bringing that into our lives, into our daily lives. So first I was doing a lot of trainings, and then at some point I decided, that's it. I want to be sharing that with other people. And it's been a couple of years. I think the first time Anneke and I, my friend and my colleague, we are giving this amazing, beautiful course together. I think the first time we managed to bring it to Europe, to Hridaya in France, was in April 2019. So it's been a few years already, and we've been so grateful to return every year, with some challenges, of course, through the pandemic. So fingers crossed, but we are coming this year. We're coming in fall, end of September, we are starting. And yeah, that's just the passion I have for yoga therapy and the attempt to share that with the Hridaya community, with healthcare professionals, with yoga enthusiasts. So it's a very open course, and you are more than welcome to join us in September for this deep journey.
Wow, thank you so much. That sounds really amazing and beautiful to merge these two things together, like the therapeutical part and the yoga part. I saw so on the website. So it's 2 weeks, and it is called Module 2 and Module 3. So I was also wondering, like, can we join without having doing the Module 1? Why is it a Module 2 and 3? Like, maybe you could give some words about this.
Yes, thank you. I think that's very important, to not go into a confusion there. Basically, as Anneke and I developed this program, it was, we named it the Yoga Therapy Immersion, because it was really a 3-week deep dive and exploration of some of the aspects in yoga therapy. And now we decided, because also of the pandemic, to bring some of that into the online format. So basically now there is the option to also do, at this point, to do parts of the program in a self-paced online and also supervised and mentored way with us. So we started kind of splitting it a little bit. And that's how module 1 and module 2 and module 3 came into this world. It kind of suggests a certain order. So ideally, you would start, looking into some of the teachings of module 1, either with us at Hridaya or in the online format, and then you can go deeper and deeper. But we realized through the last years that it's also very possible to come now in September to module 2. Right? So it doesn't indicate that, oh, you really have to be, finished all of that. Yes, I think it's still a beautiful journey and we put a lot of thought and intention into it, but it's not obligatory. So I invite you to still, very much, to feel invited to come right away to module 2. And then you can always decide whether you want to do this module 1, which we call the personalized alignment and fascia intensive, if you want to be doing that with us again, live in France next year, for example, or if you want to go home, take time for integration, and then start looking into what we are offering online in your own pace at your own home. So there are multiple options now for you to step by step go a little bit deeper into yoga therapy.
Thank you. And just I was curious, maybe like the theme of each module, like if you maybe put some word on all those topic of the 3 weeks.
Oh, yes, please. Yes, please. If I get too passionate, stop me. Yes. I don't want to go into a 2-hour monologue, but I'd be so happy to share. So basically, that 1 week, that module 1, we call personalized alignment and fascia intensive. And it's basically a mixture of those two. So maybe I explain first, what they mean in themselves, and then how we brought them together in this first week. Personalized alignment touches on something. It's a hard project of mine. And it's interesting because some people think it's so technical. Personalized alignment, maybe you've heard of alignment in the yoga practice, right? How to align your body so that you do the correct posture. And I think we all have seen, magazines or pictures on social media where people do extraordinary poses and it all looks so simple, which can also cause a little bit of frustration because I'm not able to do some of those postures, myself, and I'm supposed to be a yoga teacher. What's that, So the idea is in our course, what is yoga therapy really about? For me, it means how can I allow a yoga practice, a physical yoga practice, right, using my own body, to then really allow yoga in the real sense of the word, which can be translated as union. How can I find a practice that allows me to really connect to that presence, to that stillness, to that union where I'm no longer this body and you are no longer your body or your personality, but there is a sense of inner union happening. How can I do that? How, while we are here in this world, having this body and knowing about those amazing postures that the yogis brought to us, hundreds, thousands of years ago, how can I adapt that? How can I individualize? How can I personalize it so that indeed I'm not creating too much inner tension? I'm not endangering myself for some yoga injury. I'm actually respecting my own body. I'm respecting any injuries, any accidents that this body has experienced, and I find my own personalized perfect posture in that moment. So that's the whole intention. And in this course, we are actually learning about functional anatomy. We learn how the body moves, how it moves smartly. How can we understand the yogic asana and understand, okay, what are some restrictions in this posture? Is there maybe a lack of flexibility and a lack of strength? And if so, if someone has a restriction, I'm sure that person unconsciously is going to compensate. So how can I study? How can I train myself to pick up on someone in a big compensation posture? Because any compensation is going to create tension, it's going to maybe create pain or even injury. So we are training to read other people's bodies, to read our own body. So there is a lot, it's like a playground. We play with the yogic asanas and we really hands-on start correcting, aligning, always bearing in mind what's the right, what's the perfect, what's the safest posture for that person in that moment, so that then yoga can come more like a natural next step. It's like an inner meditation is possible much more if the body is in the right physical movement. So we took that very physical, anatomical, and it gets quite geeky. So that's my passion. We take all that, it's not about memorizing muscles and all that, but we start understanding how does the body move? How does the body look? Start reading bodies. And we take that into an exploration to really experience yoga, deep yoga. And that is not only something, for the yoga practice, but it also becomes relevant if, for example, you yourself have experienced some injuries, some accidents, or you as a teacher want to help people in your classes, help students that have experienced accidents or injuries. How can you use yogic posture to support the healing process? Not making it worse, not stagnating, but using the correct way of variations of prop use so that the healing process can continue, which is very, very beautiful to see. So that's one. As you can see, I'm talking, so I'll be shorter. That's one aspect of the first module, but there is another one which we call the fascia embodied. And we are diving into this absolutely fascinating, we sometimes say fasciating, yes, subject of fascia, which is another word, some people call it the connective tissue. And that is something that I'm still discovering myself. Scientifically, it's so interesting. There's so much research going on in that field right now, connecting fascia also with, for example, stored traumas to the emotional world. Like, how are we actually storing tension? How are we storing memory inside our physical body? Again and again, it brings us back to the fascia system. So we are basically talking about what the yogis of yore explained in their model of the 5 bodies. Yes, so we are not just a physical body. There is more layers of manifestation, if you want to call it. We have our energies, we have our emotional or mental bodies, right? It goes much more subtle. And fascia, even scientifically now, proves to kind of bridge in between those different layers. It is absolutely stunning. And it adds, that's why we put those two together in the first module. It adds to that theme of self-exploration, really feeling on a very subtle level what's going on. Oh, if I change my posture a little bit, if I allow my breath to go a little bit deeper, if I really focus on something, if I add a visualization, all of these things really bringing it together to go into a very deep practice of yoga. So that would be the module 1. Now in September, this is not offered at Hridaya, but you can either wait for next year Or if you are anxious and impatient, then go to our website and see if the online format is something that you want to explore, because there you can just take the course in your own time, in your own pace, and then you can still, decide to come to the other modules at a later stage. So that's the first one. And now in September, we have the course which is called Body Decoded. So as we have created that foundation of, how to really experience yoga union while being in this physical, while being manifested in this world, yes, with the physical body and the emotional body and all that, we now basically journey through the entire body. We start with the feet and knees, we go into the hips and pelvis. There is a lot about the spine, the lower back, the shoulders, the neck, and we basically zoom in for a moment, yes, looking into some injuries that can occur and really focusing on how can we support that healing process. Yes, if someone has pain, if you yourself have pain, how can I use yogic postures and other techniques from yoga and also from a broader spectrum to not just, oh, I have knee pains, I need to work on my knee. No, how can we understand the interconnectedness in our body and support, the body reading, see if there are any imbalances, maybe there is an emotional component. So we'll be kind of zooming into the different parts of the body while slowly establishing more and more of a holistic picture. Because that's what's happening so often. You come somewhere, you say, oh, my shoulder hurts, or I have an injury in my shoulder. Then you get physiotherapy and they are doing something at the level of your shoulder, but it's not at all reflecting how the entire body is responding or is even causing that pain. So we really, yes, we focus, we're going to have, a day on knees, a day on shoulders, and really go in while constantly training ourselves for this kind of, zooming in and the bigger picture. And oh yes, the knee, I need to take care of that, but what is the larger context of that? And I find this, I would call it an exercise, so important, because that's really the paradigm shift from the way I learned medicine at school, where it was very much symptom-based, very localized. I have a pain there, I need to take a painkiller, I need to get physiotherapy, I need to get a surgery. Yes, I see value in that, but there's so much more. And the body is never just, it's not a car, it's not mechanical. The body is not just, doing one thing in a certain area. It's always the entirety of our being, the entire physical body, but also energy, emotions, everything is connected. And we try to teach and explore and help you really experience this interconnectedness. So that's Body Decoded. So we are decoding the different areas of the body while bringing the bigger picture of interconnectedness. That would be the first week now in September, which is also called Module 2. And then we add a whole new universe, yes, let's call it universe, to the yoga therapy experience in week 3. We call it the one-on-one therapist formation. So as we have explored so much on our own bodies in the group, we started, with body reading. Now we really learn and we teach you in week 3, one-on-one therapist formation, how you can individualize not just a yoga class to a specific theme, right? You can have a yoga therapy theme of working, bringing awareness, relaxing, strengthening the pelvic floor. Yes. After this course, about how to do that. But now it's someone, a client or a student comes to you, or you yourself, and you want to be recommending, you want to be designing an individualized yoga therapy program. That can be 10 minutes, that can be an hour, that can be, 3 hours. There is no limit to that. But we are now basically filling up what I would call the yoga therapy toolbox. Yes, we worked so much with asana, but you'll see in this entire program, there is so much more. There will be breathing exercises. There will be other body-oriented somatic experiences. We'll be doing breath work, for example. There will be daily meditations. So now it's basically having that toolbox and learning now in interview skills, in listening skills, in body reading, yes, how to then navigate that. If you have one person, how to design a program, how to give a program. So in that module 3, one-on-one therapist formation, you will have your own clients. We will bring people that you've never seen before, and you have the possibility to start learning and training, writing your own program, giving your own program. So it's really a very safe space to start giving individual recommendations for people to go deeper and deeper into yoga and healing.
Great, thank you. Wow, so thank you so much for all these details. That sounds really fascinating indeed, and yeah, really, really brought in me at least the interest to go and dive deep in this course. And I was then wondering, who can join? Do you need to be a yoga teacher already, or whoever for my own practice? Can I join? Or?
Yes, a very relevant question. We decided to keep this course very open. In the past, our experience has been that especially that mixture of people with different backgrounds and also different backgrounds in yoga practices and yoga styles has been enriching for everyone. So that's our idea here, to really be very inclusive. So basically, if you are interested to join and you have a little bit of yoga experience, so I would call you a yoga enthusiast, you are more than welcome to join. This course will only deepen your own experience of yoga. And of course, you will start interacting with people. Maybe you will learn different styles of yoga as we go further in the course. So you are more than welcome. If you yourself are a yoga teacher, maybe you have done a 200-hour course, maybe you are already teaching, for years and years. This course, you're welcome. It's absolutely suitable for either fresh yoga teachers. Some of our former students, they have said, wow, I was so full of enthusiasm after I finished my 200-hour yoga teacher training, but I was lacking the confidence to go out and teach, because I knew if just one student in my class would tell me, oh, you know what, I have a knee injury or whatever, I have problems here and there, I would get so confused. I wouldn't know what to do. So that was something some of our students said, I really want to teach yoga, but I just don't know what to do if they are not young and flexible and strong. And to be honest, in a regular yoga class, of course, there will be people from all walks of life, different ages, different backgrounds, and you can expect that you will need to individualize to really give the experience of yoga. So I think this course, to be honest, it should be mandatory to every fresh 200-hour yoga teacher training, especially today. If you read about, I think there is a study from Yoga Journal and Yoga Alliance conducted a couple of years ago. They call it the Yoga Study, and it's basically just statistics, where I think they were focusing mainly on the US, and it shows very clearly that still the amount of people that start practicing yoga is still increasing. Like yoga has not reached the plateau, but the curve is still growing. Like more and more people nowadays start their first yoga class. And the age group, the largest age group of newcomers is not 20 to 30 or 30 to 40. Those have always started yoga and they're still starting yoga. But the age group, which nowadays is more and more interested in yoga, is 50, 60 plus. So I expect that they'll not be able to just do some very intense yoga postures right away. I expect them to maybe have some injury. I expect them maybe to, have some diagnosis from the doctor and they actually are interested in yoga because they heard it supports the healing process. So I feel this way of looking into yoga therapy, which is all aimed, the vision is to experience yoga. It's not about being, more slim and all that. We're not doing gymnastics. We are very much coming from this traditional meditative, introspective part of yoga ourselves. That's why we, Anneke and I, we keep on coming back for our own retreats to Hridaya, because there is more than just, the physical body. And there is such a deep longing to experience that. And yet in the modern world, most people that come to yoga, they need someone who can also guide them on a physical level so that they can experience yoga. So a big welcome to you as a yoga teacher. Yes, this course is excellent. And we have amazing testimonials and reviews from the past years of yoga teachers saying, wow, I got so confident. I really want to go out and teach now. And it's so amazing to see how my students are responding. Like with this new training, they all feel that something has changed and something got very deep there. So very welcome. And if you yourself have a background as a therapist, maybe as a medical doctor, we have had also psychologists on our course, physiotherapist, osteopath, naturopath, whatever, nurses. We have had people joining our courses because they were interested to basically extend their own therapeutic spectrum, adding something to give back to their clients and patients, plus the aspect of exploring it on your own body. It's not that I'm going to stand there and give you lectures all day long. No, we are going to implement and explore all of that knowledge on ourselves. So we've had many people with a therapeutic background, healthcare specialists, join our program. So if that's the case, you are so welcome, and it's going to be very rewarding for your professional life as well.
Great. Well, thank you so much for all those informations. So I think that it's like really helpful and give like a really good overview of the whole course. So we will see you then in September. So I'm just gonna give the exact dates again. So from the 21st of September until October 3rd. So in Hridaya, France, in Longeval. Yes, with Anneke and yourself, Anne-Sophie.
That's right. And we decided, Anneke and I decided that if you are interested, but now I was just really sharing what this is all about and the intention behind it. But if you're interested to still join, it's possible. Please join. Don't hesitate. And we have a Zoom Q&A planned for Saturday, which will cover all the logistical aspects. So if you're wondering, how does it work? Where do I stay? How do I get there? Can I just come for week 2, or do I have to come for week 3 as well? Can I, come for week 2 and decide on the spot to stay for week 3? All of this kind of questions, we get them so often. So we decided, let's create a Q&A session just for that. and we will post that now in the comments underneath. So please join us on Saturday. Anneke will be there, so you have a chance also to meet my beautiful and knowledgeable friend and colleague, and really time to place all your questions. We're happy to answer them, and then to welcome you end of September in the most amazing place in France, Longeval, Hridaya Yoga.
Great. Well, so thank you so much. And yeah, looking forward to meet you all in Longeval, and you as well, Anne-Sophie and Anneke. And so yeah, wishing you a really beautiful day, and yes, don't hesitate to like click below to have more information.
Thank you.
Thank you.